Yes, keep going. That's for sure.
Proud of our team.
Proud of your team, so there was pride. Pride in your craftsmanship. Go ahead.
We made a connection with our team members.
You made a connection with your team members, absolutely. What else?
No, that's it.
Creativity. So, was anybody surprised at anybody else's creativity? Yeah. See, this wasn't bad. Okay. All right, keep going.
Shared goal.
Shared goal. Yeah, yeah. Did that come about easily, by the way? It was obvious. Okay. Good. You did. And you looked ahead in the 8 secrets, which is awesome. All right, so keep going. Okay, so you created a group identity. High performance team building is 2 things. It's inclusive and exclusive at the same time. That's what you're trying to do. You are not you, are not you, are not you. You've got to create that environment where, again, your team stands out as being something different, as being something that others aspire to, elite, noble, special. Something that in itself creates its own energy. And that's where the energy comes from. The energy comes from a sense of mission, a sense of being part of something that is worthy of you, that has value to your effort. So in creating this sense of your own identity, you in fact create what you're looking for, energy. An energy that can be channeled into the goal. So to a certain extent, you've already created all of the elements of a high performance team. Now what we have to do is put you into the cauldron a little bit, into the crucible, and see what happens when we put you under a little pressure. Whether these high ideals and whether those wonderful goals will actually wilt under pressure or whether they will thrive. Everybody wants to feel part of something bigger. And right now, let's see what happens if we switched you two. How would you feel about that? Before you make the switch, tell me how you would feel about it. No is a good answer. Good. Keep going. So we fell down in the creativity department again. But how would you feel? We're struggling with our emotions here a little bit. Huh? Abandoned. That's a good one. Disappointed. Why me? Absolutely. A sense of anger, resentment, lost. What else? Anything? Cast out in the cold? Disconnected, betrayed. Good one. Good one. Unfair. Right, so you're now not committed. You have been torn away. The ties that bind you together, which are now at least 6 overt ties. Name, common geographical position, motto, mascot, goal, and a name for your team as well as a number. Okay, at least that overtly. Covertly, there's an enormous amount of bonds unconsciously that have already been formed. If I just slice those bonds and there was no reaction, there was no consequence to that, then there was no commitment to begin with. So you absolutely must create an emotional bond, an emotional tie. That will make you get up at 2 o'clock in the morning when the phone rings, rather than turn it over and pretend it never happened and go back to sleep. A team, that's what you would do. A high performance team, you'd never think about that. You may not want to answer that phone, but you're going to answer it because you have accountability. And that is one of the biggest elements of your organizational climate, is accountability. Because along with accountability runs respect. And along with that runs integrity. Because the integrity that says, I'm going to answer this, and I'm going to do what has to be done, even though I may not want to, depends on the accountability you feel and the respect you feel for your team, doesn't it? And that comes about through creating a common set of ties that bind you together. Things that you have that no one else has. No one else has, that make you different. You've got to have that. That elevates you from here to here. This brand that you have has elevated you already to another level just by coming onto the team and assuming the values of the organization and assuming the logo and the name and the history and the goals of the organization. You have already assumed that mantle of ownership. And that mantle of ownership makes you different. So that's what you just did. That's what you just did. We only were together for 15 minutes, and you felt that way. Okay? Think about that. 15 minutes. And you didn't even try to do it. It just happened.